Hello, welcome. Take your trousers off by the door if you wish to be more comfortable. As we begin this examination into
The Foul Tarnished.
From Software is no stranger to making some of the best bosses in the gaming industry. They're exceptionally well known for it, and if you take a look at Elden Ring, you're like, oh my god, there's Margit, Godric, Dog, Renala, Leon, Horndog, Radahn, Wormdog, Existential Nightmare Manifesto, Loretta, Dragon God, Estelle, Foreskin, Rykard, Elmer Fudd, Godfrey, Morgoth, Mo, Niall, Void Giant, Loretta again, Wallace, Malenia, Foreskin Duo, Malekith, Watersack, Moog 2 Electric Zoo, Gideon Smith, Horror and the Forest Spirit from Princess Mononoke. You're not fooling anyone, Miyazaki. We all knew what you were thinking when you made that boss. Now that list I just gave you is only a small selection. They're the bosses you get achievements for, but I left out one boss in particular, and it's a Twin Gargoyle. Nuts to butts, this fight is the absolute worst in the entire game. It's cheap and lame and it sucks, and From Software should never make a video gaming masterpiece ever again, those pieces of shit. So how this fight starts is you enter into this boss arena and you immediately know I'm about to get some sloppy ploppy all over me right now.
What, big boy?
Bruh.
And as you start settling into the rhythm of this fight, getting used to its moves and mechanics, you knock it down, whittle it away until you get to this.
Now there are two of them.
I'm in danger!
Now this isn't the only fight in the game where you have to take on two bosses simultaneously. There is the Foreskin Duo, which I'm sure a lot of you will be bashing your monitors, screaming at me saying, why have you not picked them? They're way more annoying. But there's a few reasons why I'd put them below the Twin Gargoyles fight. First and foremost, whenever I get to the Godskin Duo, I'm pretty much a ridiculously high level when I enter Farum Azula, the area of the game where you have to fight these two fuckers. So in some ways it trivializes how much damage they can do in return of what I can do to them. And one thing I hear a lot about them is that the boss arena is quite small, but I always found making space for that fight between those two was a lot easier than what a lot of people say it is. And they're not as aggressive unless you get one to his roly-poly doughboy phase. So the Cocksock Duo doesn't bother me as much as these two fuckers who can clear the entire map in leaps and bounds. You're not safe at any distance. They just fly on in. F your shit. I believe I can. And perhaps the cheapest, most bullshit thing about this entire boss fight is that one of them will be aggroing you with a series of attacks like some f***ing Naruto fan on crack. One of those sneaky ass motherfuckers will be behind you, vomiting poison onto the floor. Which not only does a tremendous amount of damage to you if you get stuck inside of its massive area of effect, you'll also be poisoned, meaning if you get out of that staggering giant AoE effect attack, you're still going to be trickled down pretty quickly by the poison. And yes, there are items that will cure them, but if you die a lot like I did, then you have to constantly go and farm them, either craft them or buy them, and that is boring as hell, man. And then I know the other excuse can be you have magic, faith spells, things that can cure the poison inside of you, but you know, I like to have a big old sword or a bleed build, so I don't have that luxury as often. So yeah, this entire fight feels exceptionally cheap because one is absolutely flailing around in front of you whilst the other is vomiting in the background. Means your window for attack is severely limited to this tiny little space where you just do a little bit of chip damage and you have to sprint across the entire map before they could fling towards you. But hey, out of the 238 bosses in this game alone, that is pretty impressive that only one of them makes me want to tear my eyeballs out and shove them up my ass. So, hats off to From Software for once again making a game that is truly setting the standard for boss design. I can't think of many bosses in this game that are that level of annoyance as the Twin Gargoyles is for me. Most of them are just wonderfully crafted, excellent design, sometimes overly challenging, but the reward really pays off. Except Twin Gargoyles, because that one sneaking up behind you with the poison is bullshit. Fuck you, Miyazaki, and the rest of your amazing team for making a great game. I'd love to know which boss you hated the most. Is it the Foreskin Duo? Is it
Malenia, Blade of Miquella.
Wait a minute. What the fuck is this?